Fine. Today's class will be on loops. First, let's understand what is this loop and why we should use this loops. Loops are nothing but it will repeat the same task multiple times. In the previous session, someone was asking like how will I actually work on multiple cells. The previous session we saw an example of working on say finding status of say a sales value or say on age or something. We just did for only one value. What if I have to do this for multiple values? If you want to repeat the same task multiple times, then I'll be using this loops. Let's go and check what all the topics we have. Say we have for loop, then do loop, say do until loop, nested loops, and exit statements. So I'll be giving you all examples with these topics. Practically, we'll start working, we'll see how these different loop works. Okay, so we have a presentation here. So what you do is if you want to get more details, you can go and check this presentation. But what I'll do is I'll straight away go to this practical say example so that it will become easy for you to understand and start working on it. Let me just close this and we'll open one Excel file. We'll take a new Excel file and we'll save this. Say Control S. Then we'll go to our folder, macro enabled file, and we'll say VBA class 6. Say save. What is the next step? Renaming the sheet. I'll say WKS loops Alt F11. We'll name this code name as well. Then right click, insert a module. We'll rename this as well. Mod underscore loops. Fine. We discussed about loops. Loops means repeating the same task multiple times. There are different type of loops: for, do while, do until. Okay, these three types of loops, what it will do, if I have a counter, say these many number of times I have to loop, say I have to loop 10 times or 15 times or 20 times, then I can approach for loops. I don't have the counter, but depending on some condition I have to work on loops, say the loops has to be done, then I can approach do while or do until. Let's first see and understand how to use this for loops. Sub, I'll say loops, or we'll say generate number. We'll try to generate a serial number like this. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to generate the serial number. So what I'll do is I'll go here. We'll have an approach like this, a simple coding, that is WKS loops dot range of d5 dot value is equal to 1. Let me copy this. I'll paste it 5 times, and here I'll say 2, 3, 4, 5. Here say D6, D7, D8, and say D9. If you see here, I'm trying to generate a serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by using a normal say macro. Let me just remove this and I'll go back. Here I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll run this. I'll get the result here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. My task is done. I wanted to generate 1 to 5 serial number. Then my requirement gets changed now to create 50 numbers. Now if I go and approach this process, I have to copy and paste this 50 times and then have to change all the serial number here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 50, and again have to change the address as well. If I'm doing like this, it'll take a lot of time. Also, I might do some errors by missing some numbers or something. This is actually not the right approach. If you want to repeat the same task, then we have to go for something called as loops. Let's go here. We'll do the same task by using the concept loops. Sub generate number, say loops. First, we'll understand about the for loops. We'll go here, say we'll understand the syntax. For incremental variable equals starting number to ending number, next incremental variable. This is the syntax. Let's understand the syntax. For incremental variable, this incremental variable, what it will do is it will keep counting how many times the loops are generated. Starting number means, let's assume that this is 1 and I'm trying to end this 5. When it is looping, what will happen? This incremental variable, it will be keep counting, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As soon as this incremental variable becomes greater than the ending number, this, if it is becoming greater than this ending number, it will come out. Let me just comment on this and we'll try to work on this to have better understanding. I'll take one variable int I as integer. Let's have the same syntax here. I'll say for int I equals 1 to 5, next int I. If you go and check this incremental variable is nothing but this int I. Starting number is this and ending number is this 5. Then I'll say next int I. This is the syntax of for loop. But whatever comes inside this, these are the instructions which will run the number of times I'm mentioning here. Let me take this d5.value equals 1. Here, this process is running 5 times, but what it is doing, it is saying d5.value is equal to 1. Let me go back. Here, let me delete this. And here, I'll try to run this. We'll go and debug so that it will be easy for me to know how many times it is running. See, now it is running 1 time. Now it is printing 1. Let me go back. See, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Now it is coming out. But if you go and check the Excel sheet, see here, it is printing as 1 in d5 because if you go and check the code, it says d5.value is equal to 1. That means 5 times it is printing d5 value as 1 only. But I want the serial number. What I'll do is, I'll do a slight change here. Let me copy this. The next step, what I'll do, let me remove the syntax. You can refer this program itself. Here, instead of 1, I'll take this int I. Int I is nothing but the variable which will be keep changing. Now let me go here and say f8. Give 2 here. Say int I, if you move your cursor and check this, it says 1. That means here it will print 1. Done. Now, when it's going to second cycle, if you go and move my cursor here, it says 2. That means int I will become 2. That means in d5.value, this will become 2. Let me run this again. See, 3, 4, 5. It will come out. But my requirement was to generate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in d5, d6, d7, d8, and d9. Now we approached generating the number, but in the same cell that is in d5. but my requirement was it should generate the value, say D5, then D6, D7, D8, like this. What I'll do, I'll copy this and then say 3. This address should change as and when it is looping. So what will I do? We'll have an approach like this. Let me remove the address, that is row number, ampersand inti plus, I'll say 4. I'll tell you why this is 4. Or let me remove this 4 and I'll tell you. If I'm using this, say D ampersand, ampersand is, it is trying to say append inti to this D. The beginning inti will be 1. That means it will start generating the number from here, say D1, D2. But what I want is I want to start from D5. What I'll do, I'll just add 4 to it. It says D1 plus 4 is 5. That means it is starting from 5. This you can adjust this number however you want. That is depending on where I need to start the value, from which row I want. I want to start from D5. So what I did, I just added 4 here. Now let me go here and I'll say F8. See, now it is 1. D ampersand 1 plus 4. That means 5. Dot value is equal to inti. F8. See here, it is printing as 1. Now in the second approach, when it's going the second cycle, this inti will become 2. 2 plus 4 is 6 and I is 2. Now if I run this, see, row number is 6 and this is 2. F8, see, 3. So it goes on till 5. Let's go back. So what I'm doing here, I'm saying range, previously it was D5, I removed that 5 and I'm saying ampersand, that is I'm trying to append inti is nothing but the incremental variable. I'm saying this plus 4 so that it will start from 5th row, dot value equals inti. Now it is generating 1 to 5. Now what if I want to generate up to 50? I don't have to again change any code here, just change the ending number 1 to 50. I'll say Fi. See, it is give me till 50. Now I want till 5000, so I don't have to bother, just change this, the ending number, say Fi. See, it is going till 5000. This is the concept of loops. Loops means it is repeating the same task. Fine, this is one way of using these loops. Now let me copy this, I'll paste it here and I'll say up to 50. Let me delete this. So what I'll do, I'll use something called a step. Step means it is actually to skip the numbers. By default, if I'm not specifying here, it is step 1. That means 1 plus 1, that is 2, plus 1, that is 3. So it goes on like this, which was happening in this program as well. But what if I give 2 here? If I say 2, what will happen is, then it will try to add 2 here, that is 1 plus 2, that is 3. Then 3 plus 2, it is 5. So it goes on. Let's try this. Now inti is 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. It will print the value. Fine. See, I got the value here. Next, inti will become 3. I told you it is step 2. See, it is 3. 3 plus 4 is what? 7. It will go to 7th row now and it will print inti as 3. See, and then next this will become 5. Inti is 5. Here it says 5 plus 4, it is 9. That means in 9th row it is printing 5. See, likewise, if I say F5, see, it is printing all the odd numbers, that is 1, 3, 5. It is skipping this because I'm using this step for the row number as well. Let's say I want the same number, that is 1, 3, 5, 7, but it should not skip the row number. If you see here, I'm using this inti in 2 places. One is for generating the serial number, other one is for generating the row number. Now what I'll do, I will not use this inti because it is jumping the row number, and I'll use another variable wherein it will just increment by 1. Let me copy this. I will paste here. I'll say 5. We'll take one more variable as integer. This value go here, I'll say equals intk plus 1. Now if you see this is actually incrementing by 1. So here I have this inti, which is a mechanism in the for loop itself, which will actually increment by itself. But I cannot have more than 1 because the syntax itself is like this. But what if I want to have the increment by 1, but the loop should increment by 2? For that, I took one more variable which will increase the value by 1 by manual say variable like this. Now let me go here and I'll use this intk here, which is generating the row number. Now let me run this. Say 1. Now if I say F8, this inti is becoming 3. That is 3 as a serial number. But intk is actually 2 now. So 2 plus 4 is 6. That means 5 and 6, the row number. Now if I run this, see, you'll get the number. Keep this in mind, don't get confused. Here, one value I'm taking for row number, other value I'm taking for serial number. Next, let me copy this, paste it. I have something called as reverse loop. So what is reverse loop? Let's see. Reverse loop means it is going from higher number to lower number. So for that, I can use -1, step -1. If I'm using this negative number, then this value, starting number, should be greater and ending value should be smaller. Why? Because it is decreasing. Now what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll try to run this program, right? 50, 49, then it goes on. Say, let me run this. See, it will reverse. If I'm using this, that means it is step 2, that is it is incrementing by 2. Here I'm saying -1, that means it is decreasing by -1. What if I make it as -2? Then again it will be like decreasing 2 values. Go here, say Fi, see, it is decreasing by 2 values. Okay, this is some of the looping concepts what I'll be using here. This is only one loop, that is I'm using this, say here I'm using this one loop. Suppose if you want to loop by columns, what I'm doing, I'm looping by row numbers. Let's say I want to loop by column is like this. Then what I'll do, let me copy the same thing, paste it here, say loop, I'll make it as column. Let me remove all this, or let's do it from beginning only. Say for inti equals, let's take it as 1 to 5 only. Next inti, same syntax, but what I want to do now, I want to loop it by column. If I'm looping it by row, what happened, I add this row number, I use that inti plus 4 or 5 or whatever, because row was a number, I could easily do the calculation and then get the row number. But here the column is a name, it's a text, I cannot add any value for that. But how will I actually loop it? So for that, what I'll do is I will change the syntax a little bit. What is that? WKS loops dot cells. I'm using as cells. Range and cells both are same. You can approach both ways. I'll open the bracket. Now here what will happen is, here it will not ask for the address, that is D5, D6 or whatever. It will ask for the index number. It will ask for row index number. What is the row index number? Let's say I'm using this 5. Let's say I'm using row number 5. I'll say 5. Comma. It will ask for column index number. Let's take column index number as 4. Dot value is equal to, I'll say inti. Suppose if I run this, see, it is giving me the value in the same cell itself because I'm not done any incremental thing here. For that, what I'll do, I'll say in column int I plus 3. What is int I? Int I is nothing but this incremental variable which I put it here. This will be 1 in the beginning, plus 3 is nothing but so 1 2 3, and here I'm getting this value. See, now if I go here, say if it's say 1, now int I is actually 2. 2 plus 3 is 4. That means column number for the 1 2 3 4 5, that 2 plus 3 is 5. It will go and it will print here. See, next 3 4 5, it will come. See, this is for columns. So when I'm using columns, I can use cells. Cells can be used for row as well. Say for example, let me take this one, let me paste it here. We'll say row. See, here I'm using range for generating the loops for row numbers. Let me comment this. Same thing I'll do it here by using cells. What I'm telling is I can use cells for row as well as column, but range can be used only for rows. I'm showing you both the approaches. WKS loops dot cells. Now I'll say int I plus 4 comma the column number has to be fixed. Here I'm using this D, here I'm using 4. That's all. Dot value is equal to int I. Now if I say fi, see, it is generating the row number like this. Let me make it as 5 instead of 5000. Run this. See, I'm getting this. I can either use range or I can use cells for looping row wise, but for column wise always you have to go with cells. This is for looping either column wise or row wise. Let's see how I can use both together. We call it as nested loop, looping rows as well as columns together. Let's go here, say sub nested loops, dim intr as integer, dim intc as integer. So what I've done, I've taken two different variables. One is for row, one is for column. What we'll do here, say for intr equals 1 to 5, and here I'll say next intr. This is one loop. Inside this, I'll say for intc equals 1 to 5, next intc. This is another loop. So I have two loops. So one is outside, one is inside. That means 5 into 5, it will run 25 times. In the first loop, it will go here inside. This will complete 5 times. Again, it will come back. Again, it will go here inside. Again, 5 times it will run. So here, this will run 5 times. Inside this will run each 5 times. Because this is the statement for this loop. Now let's assume that I want to print some value here. So what I'll do, go here, say wks loops dot cells of. We'll use this cells because now I'm using columns as well to be looped. Say row number I'll give 1, column number I'll give 1, just for your reference. Say value is equal to, I can either use intr or intc here. Now if I run this, what will happen? It will print the value here, column number 1, row number 1. But for me, let's say I want to start from D5. So here is the row index number. I'll say what is the row number? It is 5. But this has to be changed. I'll go here, I'll say intr plus 4. So what is intr? There is nothing but the row numbers. I have this column. Let me copy this. I'll go here, intc plus, I'll say 3. Why? Because intc is 1 plus 3, that is 4. 1 2 3 4. Now let me run this. If I say fi, see, it will run this way, like this, 5 times. So totally 25 times it is running. Now let me change this r. R is what? See here, let's say in the beginning, let me clear this, try to run this. See, it says 1. Now intr is 1, so it will print 1 5 times. Now it is going out. Now r will become 2. Now here it will print r 5 times as 2 here. Now suppose if I run this, see, I'll get 25 times as loop. Say 1 2 3 4 5. The same thing I did for C here. If I change this to C, what will happen? See, F8, yes, intc, that is this one, as 1. Now this intc will become 2 because it is running within the loop itself here. So if I run this, see, it will say 1 2 3 4 5. That is, I'm getting the result like this. Now when it's going out after finishing this, there is one more. See, this has to run 5 times. Now it is going inside again. Now again we'll start from 1. So 1 2 3 4 5, it will come out. See, so this will run 5 times, and that is column wise like this. The nested loop means looping inside loops. Fine, let me save this. Next is, we have something called as do while and do until. What we saw now was based on the count, how many times I need to loop. Whenever you feel that I need to repeat a task based on the number of counts or number of times, then go for loop. Suppose I don't know how many times I have to loop, but based on the condition I have to loop, then I have to think about using do while or do until. Let's understand these two functions. Do while and do until, as I told you, this works on conditions, but do while means do while the condition is true. That means until the condition is true, the loop will be keep running. Once the condition is false, it will come out of the loop. Do until means until the condition is true. That means if the condition is false, then only it will run. If the condition is true, then it will come out of the loop. I'll show you how it works. Say sub, I'll say do while loop. We'll go here, dim inti as integer. The syntax will be like this: do while, say condition, I'll say inti is less than 5, loop. This is the syntax: do while and I'll say condition. I will put the statement inside this. I'll go here. Let's say the same thing. I want to generate a serial number. Let's go here. It says define. Say wks loop start range of d, and here I'll say ampersand inti plus 4 dot value is equal to inti. This inti in this for loop, I used to use this here so that it was incrementing automatically, because that was the mechanism for loop. But in this case, we don't have any incremental operator. So for that, what I'll do, I have to go and put this incremental option manually. That is, I have to do this. Now let's run this. See, I told you, if the condition is true, then only the program will run. See, the condition is true. The beginning it is 0. 0 is less than 5. Yes, it is true. Then I'll go here. See, it says 1. Let me run this. See, so till that condition, see here, since I'm incrementing this inti, it is incrementing. See, now if you go here, inti becomes 5. 5 is less than 5, which is false. See, it will come. Now, this is one scenario. This do loop can be used this way as well. The condition, whatever I have, I'll put this in the end. See here, both are do while, but here, what I'm doing here is, see here, the condition what I'm checking, it will be in the beginning of the program. But in this program, the condition is checked in the end of the program. The difference between these two programs are, in this program, the condition is checked in the beginning only. If the condition is true, then only it will go inside. If it is false, it will come out. But in this case, whether the condition is true or false, at least once this program will be executed. Let's run this and see. See, let me clear this. I'll say F8. See, now there is no condition. It is just executing it. See, now it will check the condition. Till it is true, it will be keep running. Once it is false, it will come out. Let's check. I'll go here. I'll make it as, say, 6. I'm just hard coding it. 6 is less than 5, which is actually false. Let me run this. Can you see that? It didn't go inside because this condition is false. Do while will work when the condition is true. Once it becomes false, it is coming out. That is what happened here. Now let's go to this. I'll change this to 6 here. See, the condition is actually false. But what will happen here? In this case, if I run, see, I'll not get any value. But in this case, see, it is running once. It will run once. Then it will check the condition. The condition is actually false. It will come. See? So what will happen is, when I'm using this, do while and condition, the condition is checked in the beginning, and then depending on this condition, the program is executed. If the condition is false, it will come out. Here, in this case, the condition is checked in the end, so at least once the statement is executed. Fine. Let me change this, and here also I'll just change this. Fine. Let me save this. The next one, what we have is do until. Do until means what? I told you, do until means if the condition is false, it will keep running. Once it is true, it will come out of the loop. Just to remember, while means while the condition is true, until means until the condition is true. That's all. I'll go here. Let's work on this program. It says sub do until loop dim inti as integer. Say do until, we'll take this inti is greater than 5. Say loop. Now what I'll do, I'll go here, say inti equals inti plus 1, and then we'll take the same code. Now let's try to run this. See, 1 is greater than, 0 is greater than 5, which is false. So it will go inside. It will run the program. Next, this will become 1 is greater than 5, it's false. Now 2 is greater than 5, it's false. So it goes on. So once it comes here, say 4 is greater than 5, it is false. Now it will go here, see 5 is greater than 5, again it is false. Now this will become 6. 6 is greater than 5, it is true. So what will happen? It will come out. As I told you, if the code If the condition is false, then it will execute this. If the condition becomes true, it will come out. Next is we'll put this condition in the end. Same thing like what we had here for while loop. Same thing I have here as well. Let me run this. In this case, at least once these codes are executed. Say F8. See, once it is executed, whether it is true or false, whatever, it will not check the condition. Now it will check the condition. Depending on the condition, the loop happens. It will come. Let's go back. Understand. See, don't get confused. Do while and do until. Do while will run based on the condition. Do until also run based on the condition. Do while runs only if the condition is true. Do until will run only if the condition is false. In do while, if the condition becomes false, it will come out. In do until, if the condition becomes true, it will come out. So to remember it easily, just remember like this. Do while the condition is true. Do until the condition is true. That's all. This is a simple way to remember. Let me save this. Next is, let's go. So what will happen? Sometimes I want to stop the loops at some point of time. Every time I don't have to execute complete loops. Let's take, say, this 5000. I'll go here. Let me paste it here. Let me make it as exit. If you see here, I'm trying to generate 5000. If I run this, it will run 5000 times. But what I want is, as soon as it is finding 50, it should stop there and it should come out. So for that, what I'll do here, say for example, I'll just directly use this exit for, and if I run this program, see, it will run this. Let me clear this and we'll start from beginning. See here, it will run, but when I say exit for, it is coming out of the loop. But I want this exit for only when it is approaching 50. So for that, I can use this if condition. So in the previous session, we saw this if condition. If int I equals 50, then end it. So in this case, what happens? When it is approaching, when it is running, as soon as this will become 50, it will exit. Let's run this. See, it is running, see, but as soon as it's become 50, it will stop. That means it is coming out of the loop. If you go here, see, so you don't have to run 5000 times. Suppose somewhere if you feel that okay, I want to end the program, say end this say for loop, then you can put this exit for. So you should be very careful with this exit for. Exit for I'll be using only when I need to stop the loops, say the loops, and if I know that where it has to be stopped. Otherwise, you should not use this. Your loops will be stopped forcefully. This is for exit for. Same thing I have for do while and do loop, do until loop as well. Let's go here. Let me take one of them and let me paste it here. Now what I'll do, I'll go here. I'll say exit do. Exit do means I'm trying to exit this loop. F8. We'll rename this. Exit do. See, it will come out of the loop itself. But I want to end this loop when int I becomes 3. In that case, I'll go here, I'll say if int I equals 3, then exit end. Now let me run this. See, 1, 2, now it is 3. See, exit. Though I have given here condition that it has to keep working until unless it become false, but here I given a condition saying that if it is equals to 3, then exit. This is for exiting forcefully, that is exiting your loops forcefully. Now we understood the concept of loops. Let's see how we can work on this with real-time scenarios. Let me take one example here. I'll say price and say quantity, and let's take the total price. First, we'll go with one single. I want to get the total here, that is D6 multiplied by D. Let me go here, say sub get total price. Let me take these two values into one variable. I'll say dim int price as integer, dim int quantity as integer. So what is int price? Int price will be equals to double case loops dot range of d6 dot value. Let me copy this, and here I'll say int quantity, here this will be e6. Now I want this value, that is f6. I'll go here, let's say f6 dot value equals int price multiplied by int quantity. See, let me execute this. I'm getting this 2000. Now what if I'll increase this? Say I have this some numbers, and here say some random numbers I'm giving. Now I need to work on all this. If it is only one, what I did, just took the value and I multiplied this with this and I got the result. What if I want to multiply with multiple cells like this? Then I have to use loops. That means this task, what I'm doing, taking int price, int quantity, and multiplying and putting this into this cell. This is the process, but this has to repeat for all the other cells as well. So for that, what I'll do is I will use dim int I as integer. Let's say for int I equals 1 to 5. That is, I have 5 products here. Let's say 5 times I have to loop, and I'll say next int I. Now let me put this inside this loop like this. See, I put the code inside this. Now if I run this, what will happen? This D6 and E6 will be multiplied and the value will be put in this F6 5 times. See, it is running in the same cell 5 times. It will come out. But my approach was to take all these 5 values. So for that, what I'll do is, remember this concept, I just remove the row number and took this incremental variable plus the row number value. So if you go here, it has to start from 6th row now. Previously it was starting from 5th row, now it has to start from 6th row. So what I'll do, I'll go here, remove this row number, ampersand int I. This time I'll say 5 because it is starting from 6th row. Same thing let's do for this as well, plus 5, and then for f6 as well, int I plus 5. Now let me run this. See, this value I got, it is going to next row, that is 2 plus 5, 7, 7th row value, this one. Say run this. See, the next, see, So once it is done, it will come out. See, it is multiple. So whenever you think that you want to work on similar task multiple times, then I can use this loops. What you can do is, as a task, the previous sessions, whatever we have done. Say for example, yesterday we saw this finding the age, or say finding the say region code. Try to work on that. Make more say cells, and then try to work on these loops. Take that as an assignment and work on that. Say for example, I have age of 1%, so make it like 10. After that, try to work on that and see how we can do it for multiple cells. Okay, so these are the looping concepts what we have. So I'll stop the session here, and then we can have some 10 minutes of discussion so that you can ask me any doubts if you have, and I'll try to clear it.